You know, history has had some great fumbles that are literally unable to be forgotten. And when you're dealing with the whole of time and space and freaking history at your fingertips, you kind of see a lot of strange things that occur. Such as, oh, I don't know, Davros, when he got tricked to use the Eye of Harmony that accidentally destroyed Skaro and his command ship.
Home planet Skaro about to vaporize!
How about Coca-Cola ruining their own product with new Coke? Something that didn't need to be fixed. Or NASA losing a $125 million Martian probe over a basic math error. Or Ronaldo Rivera hyping up Al Capone's vault on live television only to find empty bottles. Or the best one yet, Napoleon invading Russia during winter because he thought marching through the snow was a good idea.
How embarrassing. How embarrassing.
But this takes the cake, because I have never seen in my life a group of people who protested so hard that they literally fucked themselves at the game. Oh my gosh, this is beautiful. Okay, welcome back to another episode of the Valko saga. Oh, I'm not even sure which episode this is, because it's just this whole entire situation just keeps getting worse and worse by the week. And this time, it's worse not just for the antis, but the main core of them apparently. Oh gosh. How do you do this? I love that this is how it's turning out at this current moment. Out of all the futures that this could have turned out, this is the one that is actually coming true. Oh my gosh. You know, someone remind me to thank the master later on for, you know, rejigging the timeline just a little bit. Oh gosh.
I have had a lot of fun.
Today we're actually going to be talking about the situation of where the miners actually managed to get themselves banned from Love and Deepspace because of their own stupid actions. Yes, they're minors, but you shouldn't be playing the game anyway. It's not for you. You're not an adult. This is different from the gender thing. You are too young. Now, if you remember from the last entry, I did mention how these crazy antis had actually gotten the article saying that Valko was more or less exonerated from the criminal stuff that he was associated with and the nasty stuff he was associated with. But they managed to get that article temporarily taken down by triggering the automatic flags due to it being false as fake news. Okay, so remember that. Well, I did tell you that this was the dumbest move that these people could have made, because you cannot attack the Chinese government like you can other places. So, as a result, they crossed a red line. And because of that, we are now seeing the results of it.
And here we go.
Following the unrest, the Chinese government has rolled out a sweeping landmark set of regulations. The State Administration of Press and Publications, SAPP, explicitly prohibits games and AI systems from offering virtual intimate relationships, AI romances, or virtual companions to minors. Which, let's be fair, that shouldn't need to be legislation. That should just be the standard when you honestly think of it.
Simply cannot.
As a result, state media has explicitly pointed to otome games in particular and virtual companions, creating dangerous emotional dependency, obsessive attachment, and addictive behaviors in young people, and we have seen that. Throughout this entire situation, it has been that these minors and those who have been on the anti-side have actively shown not only a level of narcissism, but also just self-centered, nonsensical blindness that they can't seem to get out of their heads that this is a game. They are pixels, they are just characters. They're not real, but they treat them as real. That is a sign of mental illness.
Oh my.
But it's a little bit ironic that it would be Love and Deepspace to actually show this problem, because it's not just something that happens in, you know, China. It happens all over the world and happens with various games, not just otome games. It also happens. Look at Genshin Impact. Look at freaking Genshin Impact. Look at Wua. You literally have men and women saying that the characters in there are their husbandos or their waifus. Yeah, unfortunately, some of them has taken that seriously and have gone a little bit over the board with it.
Ugh. Brother, ugh.
Ironically enough, Love and Deepspace makes it even more clear because the game is fundamentally built around hyper-intimate virtual partner systems and ensures that if they feel real to you, they actively hit the dopamine receptors within your brain in order to give you a high when it comes to interacting with them. You know, depending on which one you actually like. But because the miners have been acting nuts, they've been managing to get their hands onto these secondhand accounts and other ones from online being sold to them by people who really shouldn't be selling them to kids, but are, because I'm just gonna say this now. I'm just gonna say this: sex sells. And that is exactly what happened here. There's a reason why prostitution is the oldest profession in the bloody world.
I see the problem. Oh, do ya?
These kids got these accounts. They either spent a ton of money or they've been free to play ever since, but apparently they're the ones who are causing the unrest. These minors, which makes a lot of sense given what we've seen. It is a little bit insane how far this situation has gotten. I mean, this should have been an issue taken care of a long time ago, but apparently no one knew what the hell was going on, and I don't really blame them for not actually understanding, because human psychology is just weird.
No shit, Sherlock.
So what's being done about this now that the regulation has been brought out? So originally there was a loophole that was inside the game where a large percentage of minors were able to bypass real name ID check by renting adult accounts, using fake IDs, or using a grandparent's credentials, which fucked up, mind you. But now with this new regulation, it forces mandatory face ID locks. Let's be entirely honest here. Love and Deepspace has had this in their system already for a while, or if not from the beginning, but it's just ready to trigger. But it doesn't matter. Now it's gonna have to be done for everyone. It's likely gonna mainly be done in China because you try to push that stuff around the world, it's not gonna end well. Look at Discord. They literally tried the ID verification, they got hacked, and people were like, fuck no. Look at every other instance of ID verification being utilized, and you literally get a resounding one finger salute right into your face.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know how this machine worked.
But given the fact that China is actually more comfortable with that, this is likely going to be implemented there. So in that way, there are no more problems. And it also stops the domestic issues that are also happening. Because let's be fair here, this boycott wouldn't have gone as far and as bad as it was if it, one, wasn't due to the dates that it was coming up on, you know, again, July 1st and July 7th. And if the people weren't physically about to get either killed, were having cow pies put in front of their offices, having tags directly on them, and you know, allegedly, recently had this confirmed, but I'm not entirely sure of it. So I'm not gonna say it's fact, but allegedly someone actually did try to walk into their office with a knife in order to stab a few people. So basically, thanks to these kids doing this massive, inane, freaking backlash that went way too freaking far, they effectively snitched on themselves.
You went full retard, man. Never go full retard.
It made Infold have to look for them, and this is likely the reason why we haven't heard anything about Valko's return, because so long as those silly little kids are still in the game, so long as they can have access to it, so long as they can still see what is going on, they will try to riot, they will try to cause more disruptions, more chaos. They'll only get paper games and Infold shut down, they'll get lads shut down. So it makes sense why they're not saying anything, because if this is the course that's actually happening, which thanks to these regulations seems to be that case, that they are actively trying to just filter out these kids so that way they're not in it anymore, so that way they can release Valko, release the 6.0 update the way it was supposed to be without more problems. After all, if these miners are the vast majority of the anti-Valko movement, that movement is effectively dead, because we've seen that the revenue doesn't reflect reality when it comes to them. They threatened to leave, they threatened to stop playing the game, they threatened to stop spending. That did not happen at all over the course of the 8 days. So, since that is the case, these miners do not have any true power, and they shouldn't have any power when it comes to something like this. But let's be fair, parents need to freaking watch their children. They really do. I understand it's hard to raise children, work, provide for them, and everything else. It is more than a full-time job. I'm not trying to be unsympathetic to anyone, alright? There's no excuse for why a child is playing something that's meant for adults. There's no excuse for why a child has access to your credit card or your ID or anything. Because this whole situation, they've gone so far off the deep end, it's completely not inexcusable. This has to be fixed on all sides. The government side, the corporate side, the freaking home side as well. It needs to be fixed in all three. And so far, it looks like government's already working on it, Info's working on it, now it's just time for the home to deal with their crap.
But wait! There's more!
We have potential good news, because we know that Valko was quote-unquote permanently cancelled because of this whole situation. Yeah, let's be fair, that was more just corporate crisis management. That wasn't actually truthful. No company is going to literally let an asset that popular, that costs such amount of money, to actually sit somewhere just to make a few people feel better. I'm sorry, it's not going to happen. He's coming out. We don't know when, we don't know how, we don't know what shape he's going to be in, but Valko is coming out. This promise will be broken because it was never a true one to begin with, and anyone who actually knows anything about the corporate world would know that. Even a company in China would still do the same thing because they can't afford not to. He's generating way too much press, he's generating way too much interest, he is literally a burning hole in their pocket. And sure, you can say like, oh well, why don't they just write him off? You don't do that. You write off what you can't actually salvage. He is completely salvageable, and given everything that's happened, he's becoming more and more salvageable by the day, and more than likely Info's gonna start subtly pushing for him to be released by likely buying articles themselves, having more positive news become out about him, because he is their product and want to make sure he comes out so they can get the money that global is willing to spend, that the Chinese whales are willing to spend. Hell, he comes out, I'm willing to start spending a lot of money in order to have him. This is not something that they're going to be able to just write the hell off, and it's a fantasy to think that that's what's going to happen. The victory that the antis had was false from the beginning.
Cat's out.
Sorry to tell you, antis, or actually, not really. You fucking screwed yourselves, and I love it. I'll see you all next time. Have a good day. Stay cool because holy hell, it's hot. And I'll see you all next time.